In this video, I will be addressing my thoughts on the state of the game, and why it's not just Bungie's incompetence and laziness, but is also our faults for the state that the game is in. So let's talk, let's have a conversation about this. Be respectful or disrespectful, I don't really care, let's just talk. I want to see what you disagree with and what you agree with, and without further ado, let's get into it. So the topics I'm going to talk about in this video are going to be number 1, we knew. Number 2, microtransactions wouldn't be a thing. Number 3, Gambit, who cares? Number 4, PvP has always been an afterthought. And the last topic I will talk about in this video is, we wanted them to be transparent, right? A while back, Bungie had a dev meeting with other devs from other companies, giving tips on how to keep a live service game popular and alive. To sum it up, they pretty much said, brainwash players to keep them coming back with stronger things and fear of missing out. But the main thing they said that was controversial was to not over-deliver. Because if they were to over-deliver, they would have to over-deliver every single expansion, every single season. So if they under-deliver, players will keep coming back, hoping that this is the season, this is the expansion, or it'll be like a Forsaken type of event, or a Taken King type of thing. So players feel trapped to play because of the fear of missing out, and every single big content creator making a video about how they weren't happy about what Bungie said, but they continue to play and promote the game for free, influencing other players to keep playing as well. The same greed that content creators say Bungie has, they have. Because if they post a video or stream a different game, they get a quarter of the views, a quarter of the money, and a quarter of the subscriptions. So they continue and play and influence players to keep on playing as well. So Bungie can keep delivering every single season and make millions of dollars, and we as players continue to play. So with that being said, Bungie is not fully to blame. We as players are also to blame. Players are mad that Bungie said they will no longer be making armor sets every expansion, and Bungie's excuse was because no one really uses them, and that's true. I have not once seen a player use a transmog with what Bungie made for the Crucible, Vanguard, or Gamma armor sets. People are saying that that's lazy on Bungie, and I would agree, that's pretty lazy. But if you would do some research, you would see that game developers on average salary is $60,000 to $170,000 a year. And you can say, oh well, Bungie acquired a $3.6 billion from Sony, so they should be able to afford it. But that's not how business works. If you're paying someone to develop something, but it's not getting used, it's a waste of money. And even though we are gamers, we have to understand that Bungie is a business. And in order for them to continue making games, they have to make a profit. And if developers are spending hours making armor sets that no one is using, it's not an asset that is making money. They're losing money. And what does that have to do with microtransactions? Well, obviously people are buying the gear that Bungie makes in the store, and not using the free legendary gear that the developers made. So as a business, if they see that people are buying what's made in the store, and it's making them a profit, they're gonna focus on that. Come on, it's common business. And what's funny is that all these big content creators and avid players of the game are complaining about Bungie being lazy and not making seasonal anymore, but focusing on the Eververse store. Yet they don't even use what Bungie makes in their transmogs. If we want Bungie to put more cool stuff in the game, we should have been using the stuff that they made in the game and not what's in the Eververse store. And now I'm going to talk about who cares about Gambit pretty much getting pushed aside. Gambit was never going to succeed. It was a nice thought of Bungie to try to get PvE and PvP players to play together, but as we know, the community of Destiny, that was never gonna happen. In order for Bungie to make Gambit work, they're gonna either have to cater to the PvE players or the PvP players. And people say Bungie could have made gear that was worthwhile to play Gambit, but there's so much weapons in the game, it's almost nearly impossible for Bungie to make a weapon that's gonna be worth playing Gambit. So with that being said, I don't really think this is a controversial topic, because there's probably about 5% of the player base who actually enjoy Gambit. At least now with Bungie changing the way you get gear, so you don't have to do 3 strikes, 3 crucible, and 3 gamma matches. Now only people who actually like playing Gambit are going to be in that playlist, and I'm pretty sure when the chart shows how many people are playing certain activities, Gambit is going to be around the 5% of the player base next season. And that's all I have to say about Gambit. And now for the part of the video I'm probably going to get the most hate for. PvP has always been an afterthought when Destiny was first being made. It was pretty much owned by Activision, you know, the company that pretty much makes nothing but first person shooters. And a lot of the big D2 content creator mains say they wish Destiny 2 PvP was as good as D1 PvP, but they forget our characters in D2 have way more powerful weapons and way more builds than in D1. They complain about balance, but the only time Destiny PvP has ever been balanced was in Destiny 2 Vanilla, and we all remember how boring that was, right? Destiny 2 PvP will never be balanced, it's impossible. And the argument that when the game is dead, the only people that keep playing the game and keep the game alive are the Crucible players, that may have been true in Destiny 1, when we didn't have as much stuff to do as we do now in D2. But the thing that keeps the game alive now are PvP, PvE players. Now I agree with one of the arguments that there's a lot of cheaters in the game, but in the world we live in, where technology is always evolving, the moment Bungie finds a way to ban one of the cheating programs, another one is made to replace it right after. Now I don't know how easy it is for Bungie to move Destiny 2 to dedicated servers, but I would imagine it's probably impossible. Who knows? I don't know too much about that. So maybe that's something that one of these Destiny 2 content creators that have so much to say can figure out and do for Bungie. And what's funny is that all these big content creators complain about the game, but yet they still play the Crucible, even though it's so bad. But they don't go to other first-person shooter games, and the reason being is, I don't know if you've ever seen one of them try to play another first-person shooter game, but they suck. Because they're so used to this game with all the aim assist and bullet magnetism giving them free kills, and the fact that when they try to play other first-person shooters, no one watches them, so they just keep playing D2 PvP, and the amount of people that still play it, other than just big content creators, made Bungie think, well, we don't really need to do anything, because they just, they continue to play. So if there's anyone to complain about the state of Destiny 2 PvP, it's the Destiny 2 PvP players. And now the last thing I'm going to talk about in this video is about people complaining that Bungie hasn't been transparent with us. Well, the main reason why they stopped being transparent with us is because Destiny 2 players are toxic AF. I'm talking about death threats and being toxic, immature little people who don't know how to be real adults. All because, you know, you get your favorite exotic nerfed and they think it's the end of the world and that means devs deserve to die for some weird reason. I don't know. Another reason is probably because every time Bungie makes a TWAB, some content creators have to make a video and say something negative always. I don't think I've ever seen one video of a content creator reading the TWAB where they don't have something negative to say. Bungie can literally make this game as perfect as possible and players will always find something to complain about. It's kind of like, you know, for us people who have real jobs and are married, you know, if you were to go home after working and you're the one paying all the bills, and when you come home all your wife does is nag at you, you'd probably think about a divorce. Same thing that Bungie's doing, because nothing they do is good enough for the Destiny players. I think the transparency would have been A1 if we would have just played the game. Another argument Destiny players like to do and content creators like to say is, well, we spent the money and we pay a lot of money to play this game. But I'm pretty sure everyone will remember the moment you install the game, you know, you're hit with terms of service. And if you would actually read it, it pretty much says that you're playing the game and you don't really own it and they can change anything in the game at any moment. And you have to press accept to play it, so you're pretty much saying, okay, I agree to the terms. So legally speaking, you're pretty much having to accept the state of the game. Now I'm a little bit back and forth, this one I'll admit, because, you know, I work hard for my money. I work a real job and I spend about $100 a year on this game because I like to buy the deluxe editions, so I don't have to spend more money buying the season passes and stuff. You know, like a little cherry on top, you know? But while I was making this video, I was like, you know what? I remember the terms of service, and I'm a grown adult, and I accepted it, and I'm a grown-ass man. So I have to just deal with it. And plus, I've already invested so much time into this game. I am not one of those, I'm from D1 Alpha or Beta. I started playing in Crota's End, and I'm not gonna stop playing. I'm gonna see this through. I'm gonna go until the Darkness and Light Saga's over. And if, you know, they continue Destiny 2 or they make a Destiny 3, I'm pretty much 75%, 80% sure I'm gonna continue playing because this game is amazing. And I might have some bad things to say here and there, but at the end of the day, when I play other games, they just don't compare to this game. And I know there's a lot of people who feel the same way as I do. I decided to add another little part of this video, because I know I'm probably going to get called like a Bungie shill and that I'm kissing Bungie's ass, but trust me, I do not agree with a lot of Bungie's wokeness. Like for instance, I'm an all lives matter type of guy, and then I'm not anti-gay, but I am anti-LGBTQ plus community because they're very toxic. I dislike when it's Veterans Day and they have nothing to say. Like I dislike how last month it was Men's Health Awareness Month, and instead they decided to do Trans Awareness Month. I dislike how they have pronouns in their names now in their Vidocs recently, all because I knew it was because they had someone who was trans now in their dev department. I vote red. I'm a Republican, and like I said, I dislike the wokeness and left-leaning ideologies that Bungie has. But I put politics aside, and I have to agree and admit that Bungie has made the most amazing game I've ever played in my life. And if you're still playing after the state of the game twab, you either need to accept that and shut up, or uninstall the game and play something else. Because now that you know the direction the game is going, because they were finally transparent with us, it's your choice. It's your choice. So I would say make a choice. Whatever makes you happy, uninstall or keep playing. But if you keep playing and you're complaining even after the state of the game twab, I think you have something else going on in your life that you need to worry about. And without further ado, I hope you enjoyed the video. Like and subscribe please.